Hello, everybody, and welcome to our March Member Connect program. We have two incredible members for you today, and we're going to get started talking with them in just a moment. Just a couple quick announcements and some housekeeping. If you're joining us online, welcome. Thank you for being here. This is our broadcast platform, StreamYard, where we bring you all of our programming similar to Member Connect. I'm Joe Woolley, CEO of the Nashville LGBT Chamber of Commerce. You are coming to us on Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn. If you are, please put your comments and questions in the comments and questions section of whatever platform you're watching us on. We'll take those questions in the Q&A portion, or I will interrupt our guests and ask those if they need to be addressed right away. We have two incredible members of ours that we're going to talk to today. Member Connect is part of our Rainbow Connection series. This series includes networking events, educational opportunities, and lots of connections. Check out our website for more information on upcoming events. If it's a Thursday, then we're having a program, and today's is Member Connect. Next week is Network Connect in the evening. That's our brewing up business that we've been doing for over 22 years. Connecting people in a number of different ways to professionally advance here in Nashville. Then we have our Classroom Connect program, which is our educational programming. We've got a great one coming up at the end of the month around entrepreneurship. And we also have our Corporate Connect program, where we connect our top corporations to their work in diversity and inclusion to one another. Sign up on our website for any information on these programs, and we'd love to have you. And thank you again for joining us today. We are excited to highlight a small business member and one of our corporate members today, as we do with Member Connect. We're going to start with our corporate member. Today, we're bringing you Mars Petcare. Mars has been a member for over a year now, incredible member based out in Williamson County, out in the Cool Springs area. When they joined, I was lucky enough to go out to that area and visit with them, and it is an incredible campus, beautiful campus, and the thing that makes it so unique and so cool is it's Mars Pet Care, so guess what? Pets are everywhere. They have dog daycare, they have dogs at their desk, and I did not want to leave. My dog Spooner would love to have a setup like this. We've all been working in that for the last year with COVID, with our pets right underfoot. But they get to do it when they do go back to work in the office. We're going to be hearing from Katie Evans. She is the External Affairs Manager at Mars Pet Care. I'm going to add her to the stream. Katie, how are you this morning? Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Joe. I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. It's wonderful to see you virtually. I look forward to getting to see you again in person soon. Any idea when you guys are hoping to get back into the office?
Not quite yet. We have been home now for a year. It's crazy to think that it's been a full year. No firm plans yet, but we're always having conversations about when we might be able to go back. So stay tuned. Hopefully soon.
Yeah, it has been a year like no other. We shut down, I think, a year ago today, where everybody moved to virtual, and we moved to virtual, and this is one of our programs we've done, and it is so great. We've been highlighting pets all month, so having Mars Pet Care speak today was the perfect time to highlight our platinum level member. So Katie, tell us a little bit more about Mars.
Yeah, thanks, Joe, and thanks to you all for having me today to talk a little bit about Mars Pet Care. I think we have a slide deck that we can walk through and just tell you a little bit more about our business. So again, really excited to be here today, tell you about Mars. We are a bit of a hidden company to some extent. I think the next slide will talk about our broader corporate structure. Oops. I think we just go back one, actually. You know what? We'll make it roll. It's all good. Why don't we go ahead to that second slide? We'll just watch the video. Perfect, thank you. And on the following slide here, so while some of you may not have been familiar with Mars Petcare as a business before today, I'm pretty sure and hopeful that you all have heard about Mars Incorporated. We are a growing business. We're super diverse, as you've seen in that past video. We have brands across 4 different segments. So Petcare, which is our business that's local to the Nashville and Williamson County area. We have our Mars Food business, Mars Wrigley, as well as Mars Edge. And we've been family owned for over 100 years. So we have over 115,000 associates across the globe in over 80 countries. And some of the brands that you all hopefully know and love, like Pedigree from our pet care business, M&Ms and Snickers, I think fan favorites everywhere, and then Ben's Originals. But we are more than just our brands. And so that video that you just saw is really talking about our new corporate branding that you're seeing reflected on the slide here. It's tied to our purpose that we launched back in 2019, which is that the world we want tomorrow starts with how we do business today. So as a family-owned business, we have the opportunity to do things a little bit differently. And for us, we really choose to invest in that long-term future of our business for the well-being of the people that we serve, the associates that work for our business, as well as the planet that we operate on, obviously. And we can go to the next slide, please. So as a business, if we think about the commitment to the world we want tomorrow, for Mars Petcare, that world is a better world for pets. Next slide. Locally here in Williamson County is our North America headquarters for Mars Petcare. So as Joe mentioned, we opened our brand new facility back in 2019. I'll show you some images of that down the road in this presentation, but we're all very excited to get back to that office when we can. Globally, Mars Petcare is made up of over 85,000 associates in over 70 countries. So if you think about that overall Mars associate count of 115,000, it's a pretty big chunk of the overall Mars population. And across all of our divisions of pet care, we serve over half of the world's pets. So that's nearly 400 million pets all across the globe that benefit from the products and services from our pet care division specifically. You can go to the next slide. So outside of making pet food through our pet nutrition business, which is located here, and our Royal Canin business, we are also the leading veterinary health provider through a network of over 2,500 veterinary health clinics and hospitals. Some of those flagship brands that you all may recognize would be Banfield, Blue Pearl, VCA, Pet Partners, and we're actually the largest employer of veterinarians across the globe. Outside of veterinary as well, we're also active in innovation and technology for pets through our kinship division. This is another kind of hidden gem within the pet care world. Kinship is leading the way with products like Wisdom Panel. So if you think about DNA testing for dogs, Whistle GPS dog tracker, which is, some people refer to it as like a Fitbit for dogs. It's also a GPS tracker. So if your dog gets lost, you can easily find them through the app. And the team at Kinship is really driving innovation through nutrition and science and obviously technology. They also have businesses called Leap Venture Studio, which is an accelerator program for early stage startups that are in the pet care industry. And they also have what's called Companion Fund, which is an investment group that provides investment for pet care startups from seed funding through their growth stages. So super diverse, 4 distinct divisions within the pet care segment. On the next slide. So why do we do all of this? Over 70% of households in the US have a pet. If we were in person, I would say, raise your hand if you have a pet, and I'm sure that I would get hands all over the place. If you want to quantify that even further, over 85 million households in the US alone have a pet. And that's crazy. That's a lot of households. And that actually translates to over $70 billion annually that are spent on pets. So pets are a really big part of our economies all across the globe, including ours here in the US. And evidence really does continue to build that pets improve our lives in so many ways. So again, turning it into a personal lens, many people over this past year have really turned to their pets as a source of comfort and companionship. And that actually led to 11 million households in the US bringing home a new pet in 2020 alone. So pets definitely have a part to play in our lives. On the next slide, they clearly make us happier. I think anyone with a dog or a cat or a goat or a sheep or a horse would happily tell you that their pets make them happier. Studies have shown that dog owners are 5 times more likely to know their neighbors than non-dog owners. If you think about when you're walking in your neighborhood, you're much more likely to spark up a conversation with your neighbor when you have that commonality of both walking a dog. There's also data showing that people are more likely to meet through their pets than they are to meet through their children's school programming. And we know that kids who grow up with pets tend to have higher self-esteem, they have less loneliness, and they tend to have better social skills as well. On the next slide, pets can also have a really positive impact on our health. So whether that's physical or mental health, again, I'm a dog owner, so I'll constantly come back to the dog owners in the room. But if you think about when your dog needs to go out for a walk or a break, you're going out and getting that exercise with them as well. They also reduce our stress. I know when I'm feeling particularly stressed, my dogs know, and they wind up right next to me for, a hug or a pet, and it instantly makes me feel better. And there are even studies showing that pets are associated with lower blood pressure and improved survival rates after heart attacks. So there is true data around this. And for all these reasons and more, we believe that pets have a really important role to play in the conversation about health, again, whether that be physical or mental health. And so it's for all of these reasons and more that all of us at Mars Pet Care find our purpose, A Better World for Pets, really inspiring. These images that you see on the screen are true pets of Mars. Don't worry, we do love cats too. You'll see a little shout out to them in the bottom left corner there. But these images are part of an annual photo shoot that we hold in our office that benefits our Pedigree Foundation. And these are dogs that are regularly in our office. So on any given day when we are in our offices, you typically see between 150 and 200 dogs. I believe at its highest peak, we had about 300 dogs registered to come into the office. So pets are really core to who we are. And hopefully at this point, you've picked that up because it's important. So again, reflecting back on some of the data that we showed earlier, we serve 400 million pets around the world, and the well-being of those pets is core to who we are and core to the work that we provide. So what does that mean for us as a business? It means that every decision we make comes back to that purpose. So we're asking ourselves, does it make a better world for pets? If yes, how? If not, why not? Does it make them happy and healthy and welcome in society, whether that's in our homes, in cities, in the workplace? Because that's the world that we want for tomorrow, is a world where every pet can enjoy a happy, healthy life in a loving forever home, and where every person can simultaneously enjoy the benefit of a life with pets. So that's why we launched our Better Cities for Pets program back in 2017. Despite all of this research and all of the data about the benefits of pet ownership for those with pets, as well as those in a community that welcomes pets, there are still so many barriers. If you think about it, there are breed-specific housing restrictions. There is a lack of pet-friendly transit in most cities that you visit. So when we think about bringing our purpose, A Better World for Pets, to life in a really tangible way, this program embodies that for us. So we're working to help cities become more pet-friendly so that pet parents everywhere can enjoy the benefits of a life with a pet. And I do have a quick video next, I promise it's the last video, that talks more about this program and what we've been able to accomplish so far.
When you have a certification, it's a validation of the efforts that you're making.
City officials, mayors, council people who are elected have to be more responsible for not just people, but for people's pets.
If developers provide amenities for pets, it creates a clean environment for the city.
The same Petersburg, we want all dogs to feel like they're welcome and the owners to feel like they're welcome to bring those dogs.
Perfect. Thank you. So back in 2019, we launched our Better Cities for Pets city certification as part of the program, which recognizes cities who are committed to pet friendliness and being pet friendly. Nashville and Franklin were both part of that inaugural list of certified cities. And as of the end of 2020, we have 40 certified cities, and happy to report that that number continues to grow. So in 2020, we also published our second annual Better Cities for Pets annual report, which spotlighted the impact of pets during the pandemic and the power of making pets welcome, as well as what pet parents and non-pet parents are expecting of the communities where they live when, you know, the world goes back to quote unquote normal. So through the annual report and the resources and the programming, it's our goal that we can help even more cities embrace the power of pets. To really help people, again, pet owners and non-pet owners alike, embrace that power of pets and experience the benefit of a life with pets. So as I mentioned earlier, our headquarters, our North America headquarters for Mars Petcare is based here locally in Williamson County in Franklin. So all of our marketing, supply chain, administrative functions are all located here. And I'm one of nearly 1,000 Mars associates locally here in this community. So I hope if you're local, I hope you recognize that shirt in the middle. It's our Mars Volunteer Program shirt. We spend thousands of hours out in the community every year working on community programming, whether that's building dog parks, renovating dog parks, helping with shelter renovations, working at food pantries. One of the things that I really love about Mars is that across our entire organization, our associates receive paid time off to go and give back in their communities. So this is not unique to pet care specifically. This is part of our Mars Incorporated aspiration to be a great community partner and give back in the communities where we live and work. And so obviously the world looks different right now. We've already talked about the fact that many of us still are working from home. We officially opened the doors to our brand new headquarters back in 2019 around Memorial Day weekend. Spent a few months there and then very quickly started working from home a year ago today. So this is our new headquarters. It's obviously a quick image, but we refer to this as our pet-friendly workplace of the future for obvious reasons. And we're really looking forward to the day when we can get back into the office as our dogs. Because honestly, this space is really, if you've been there, you can attest to it, but this space truly is the pet-friendly workplace of the future. Every single aspect of this office was designed with pets and people in mind. So everything from the outdoor dog park to the indoor doggy play care, which you're seeing here on screen, the furniture, the width of seating to allow dogs to lounge with their owners, the fabric choices that we made for pet friendliness, even the landscaping outside is all non-toxic for pets. So every decision was made very mindfully to really promote pet friendliness in the space. And obviously, I'd be remiss to leave the conversation today without highlighting our commitment as a business to inclusion and diversity. So earlier in the presentation, I talked about our corporate belief that the world we want tomorrow starts with how we do business today. And on the next slide, you'll see a quote from our CEO, Grant Reed. So as you know, at Mars, we have what we refer to as our associate concept. And essentially, this is a commitment that is core to how we operate, that every associate can expect to be respected, supported as an individual, to be treated fairly and equitably, to be rewarded for their personal performance, and really have the opportunity to shine and grow and develop within our business. So this is really a core value at Mars, and it's reflected in this quote that you see here from our CEO, our Mars CEO, Grant Reed, which was released last year in response to the movement for racial justice in the US. We go to the next slide. So these beliefs and commitments are really embedded in the way that we operate and the beliefs that we hold as a business. I know this slide is super busy. I won't read through everything. I won't make you read through everything. But essentially what this speaks to is that this is a longstanding priority for Mars. And we've accelerated that commitment across 4 key pillars of our business. So those pillars basically are our leaders are visible champions of I&D. They're held accountable for I&D. We embrace and actively promote a culture of belonging that values the differences and the uniqueness of our teams. We are harnessing the differences and the diversity across our associate base and our leaders across our business globally. And we have equipped our business with the policies and trainings to really support these aspirations and move us forward. So in addition to the key goals that you see listed on this slide around gender balance and workforce representation and a feeling of inclusion, we prioritize our associates' ability to have really important conversations around equity, inclusion, and diversity through our associate resource groups. And these are groups like Pride, Women of Mars, Dog Tags, which focuses on supporting veterans, and Unify, which is committed to unifying all of the different cultures within our Mars business. So all of this is in support of our goal to make sure that every single one of our associates globally feels valued, knows that they are respected, and is encouraged to be their unique self when they walk in the doors at work, as much as when they leave work for the day. So as a business, we're really fully committed to fostering an environment where everyone has that equal opportunity to reach their full potential, be heard, and feel valued. And I believe that's the last slide. Yep. I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm not sure if anything came in. Oh, look at that.
The first program that Spooner was like, I want to watch this. And
I want in.
Well, that was awesome. What an awesome place to work. Spooner is going to jump down now that the presentation's over. But yeah, it's great to have your pet at work. You brought up so many good things and some interesting things that you guys are there for people when we get back to normal, because people adopted pets at record numbers when the lockdown happened a year ago. And everybody needs to be thinking of what we're going to do with our pets when the lockdown ends and we go back to a normal life. So it's great that Mars has identified that as a potential issue and something to educate people on. A couple of things that I wrote down that I just want to emphasize and make sure everybody heard. Did you say half the pet food in the world is made by Mars?
So we, through all of our different divisions of Mars Petcare, so through veterinary, pet nutrition, and kinship, serve 50% of the world's pets. So through our Mars Petcare business as a whole, we are touching the lives of 400 million pets around the world.
Wow, that is incredible.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a big responsibility.
And then you are the largest employer of vets. I did not know that.
Yes. Yep. So Banfield and VCA are probably the two, and Blue Pearl. We have those locally as well. Those are probably the most recognizable veterinary hospitals here. But across the world, we also have businesses like Linnaeus and Anacura. Yes.
We have a question come in from a viewer on LinkedIn, Deb Grant. She says, Mars has a wonderful commitment to sustainability. Can you share a little about sustainability efforts at Mars Petcare?
Of course, yeah. So we currently, our fish sustainability is a big program for us. So our Sheba brand is currently using fully sustainable whitefish here in the US. So that's huge for us. We also are always looking at packaging as well as some additional areas where we can lean in on the sustainability areas. But across Mars Incorporated, it's a huge focus for us. I believe back in 2018 or 2017, we basically announced a recommitment to our sustainable and a generation plan, which outlines multiple pillars of commitments about sustainability, whether that's healthy planet, thriving people. So even thinking about, our supply chain. So we're definitely committed. We also have zero waste to landfill at all of our sites across the US.
That's great. Let's see, I had another question. So you said 1,000 people locally here work for Mars Petcare.
Yep. Yes, 1,000 people. So we have our headquarters in Franklin, and then we also have our innovation center down in Thompson Station, which is right on that kind of Columbia Pike intersection with 840. So still technically Williamson County, but yeah, between those two facilities, we have around 1,000 local associates.
What's the innovation facility? product testing of everything, or does it focus on a certain item?
So it's a research and development site. So it is our global innovation center for dry pet food globally.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So 1,000 employees. I have to just bring up this point because it's what we've been working on the last couple of weeks now. 1,000 employees here in Middle Tennessee. Mars Petcare headquarters is here out in Williamson County. You guys have signed the open letter that the chamber put forward of businesses against discrimination, and you've shared Mars's values around diversity and inclusion, and we really appreciate Mars signing that letter and doing everything you all have done. With 1,000 employees in the area that you're in Williamson County, having you all speak out really means a lot and goes a long way, and it's wonderful. Thank you for that.
Of course, no, and thank you all for the work on that. You know, we're happy to partner with you all, and you know, we're obviously opposed to any kind of bill or any kind of you know, law that we feel is discriminatory, because ultimately that impacts our community as well as our associates who live here. So proud to partner with you all on that.
You guys signed the letter as the Sustainable Food Policy Alliance, including member companies Dannon North America, Mars Incorporated, Nestle USA, and Unilever United States. So can you explain kind of a little more about your corporate structure? Is Sustainable Food Policy Alliance, is that the biggest company of all the other companies? Or I'm just curious of how Mars Petcare fits into the bigger umbrella of these others.
Yeah, so the Sustainable Food Policy Alliance Group is essentially a coalition of businesses. And so, you know, if you think about, you know, Nestle and Unilever, so Mars Incorporated is our parent organization, essentially. So Mars Petcare is one of 4 distinct segments within that Mars Incorporated umbrella. So we are part of that Food Policy Alliance Group under that Mars Incorporated.
Under the Mars Incorporated. And
Exactly.
Mars Incorporated is the family-owned business?
Yes. Yep. Exactly.
And then Mars Petcare is a huge part of that. What were the other areas of Mars Incorporated you mentioned?
So Mars Food, so thinking, you know, Ben's Originals, Mars Wrigley, which is probably the most recognizable through M&Ms and Snickers, and then Mars Edge, which is more focused on innovation and technology.
That's fascinating. It's great.
Very diverse business, yes. Yeah. Lots of different pieces.
And Mars Petcare is such a central part of that. I was curious to hear about so toys, and then you talked about like the trainer stuff, the wireless collars, etc. All of that falls into there as well.
Yeah, so Kinship is our, you know, it's our innovation and technology side of the pet care business. So Wisdom Panel, DNA tests for dogs. If anyone has a dog, I highly recommend it. It's so fun. Even if you have a purebred dog, it's a great thing to do because it tells you all sorts of kind of health things to be on the lookout for. It gives you just all sorts of great insights into the breed of your dog. And then Whistle, which is the little attachment to a dog's collar that helps, you know, obviously keep track of them if they happen to get out of your fenced in backyard. And it also helps you track their activity levels.
That's very cool. I'm going to have to get one of those. I already had the Wisdom Panel and have got all of our pets, and it's fascinating. You think they're one thing, and then the DNA comes back and there's something.
Blows your mind.
Yeah. Yeah. One last question from another viewer. Jessica Jenkins says, what's the best way to go in local volunteer efforts with Mars?
That's a great question. So most of our volunteer efforts locally are specific for our associates, but we partner with a lot of really great organizations locally. So whether that's local shelters like Metro Animal Care or Nashville Humane, Second Harvest Food Bank. So there are lots of really great organizations to partner with here locally. We recently, in 2020, just started some new relationships with Boys and Girls Clubs of Middle Tennessee, UNCF, and Backfield in Motion. So really, there are so many organizations locally that need the volunteer support and help.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Katie, thank you so much for joining us and for to Mars Pet Care for being a member. We really appreciate you coming on today and talking about Mars Pet Care. You can find more information out on our website under their directory listing. You can shop for Mars Pet Care products at your local pet store. And we really appreciate all the support, and it's great to support Mars Pet Care back. So
thank you guys for having us. Really appreciate being here. Thanks
for joining us today. So I love talking to all of our members. Our corporate members are so interesting to get to hear about how the big corporation works, and Mars is definitely a big one, and family owned. I love that. We're going to move on to our next member conversation with a small business member of ours, and a very special small business member, because we really pride ourselves in our LGBT business enterprise. Those are our LGBT owned certified businesses. And our next guest, Tennessee Event Designs and Tennessee Event Health, are a newly LGBT certified business. They got certified a little over a year ago, and we were super excited to see them do that. COVID happened a year ago, and what's incredible about this company is how they pivoted. The events industry, the hospitality tourism industry has been hit harder than any other economy during COVID, and Tennessee Event Designs didn't miss a beat. They changed what they do, and have really just been doing incredible work this year. They're going to tell us more about it. And we're going to bring in Sarah and Brandy Ashley. They're the founders of Tennessee Event Design. They've been open 3 years here in Middle Tennessee in Nashville. I call them local. You guys have been here long enough to be called locals. One of you's been here 6 years, the other 12. And we're just so happy to have you part of the Nashville LGBT Chamber and to get certified. So start off, with certification hard?
I don't think it was that hard. You guys held our hands through the process. There was a lot. There was a lot involved, but you guys were great with, especially Lauren. She was phenomenal with answering questions and just like helping us through the steps of not only what we needed to do, but then what benefits it brought us. So kudos to you guys for that.
Well, thank you for getting certified, and for everything, for being a member. And Lauren is incredible. She can help anybody get certified. If you're LGBT and own your business, we'd love to add you as a certified member as well. All right, so tell us about Tennessee Event Designs and then the last year and what you guys have done, because it's just a really incredible story, and you guys should be so proud. We're super proud of you for it. So share it with everybody.
First off, thank you for having us. I'm Sarah, this is Brandy. We are TN Event Designs and now also TN Event Health. We started a production company, like Joe said, about 3 years ago. With that, we do lighting, draping, custom builds for corporate events, high budget weddings, festivals, music videos, things of that sort you get at live events. And then COVID happened, and instead of shutting down like a lot of small businesses did, unfortunately, we decided to do a crazy pivot. Brandy has her background in healthcare, and the dogs love to bark. Apologies for that.
Well, it's all good. Don't worry about it. They want to hear more about Mars Pet Care.
Obviously, it's food involved.
We don't mind the dogs at all. You all just keep going.
Thank you for that. So Brandy has been a nurse for 10 years. She kind of put that on the back burner when we started TN Event Designs, because while I have the creativity and skill, I did not have the business background that Brandy has. She has her bachelor's degree in healthcare management, and we just kind of took those two things after we got married, literally 1 month to the day after we got married, and started TN Event Designs. Anyway, she did all of the computer side of things. We put both of our brains together and have had a lot of success, if you will. Again, until COVID hit, enter Brandy. With her healthcare background, we pivoted to Tea and Event Health, which is where we now offer temperature screenings and contact tracing for events. And kind of where we started with this was, how do we get our industry back up and running? We realized that a lot of our friends were calling us and saying, hey, I lost my job, and just everyone being completely devastated by what happened with COVID. Literally everyone just immediately shut down, and no one really knew what to do. So Brandy and I, we brainstormed and landed here. And through this, we've been able to increase safety for these events, to encourage guests to come back to Nashville, to encourage our corporate members to come back and say, hey, we can host these safer events, and here's how. I'm going to let Brandy jump in here and get a little more technical with you on the Tea and Event Health.
Yeah. So like Joe said, our industry got hit hard. Anyone that works in the event world, if you do, you know how abruptly everything stopped for all of us. And still to this day, we really play it by ear. We don't know exactly what's going on from day to day, or when we can have something happen, if we can have a festival, if we can have a get together, if we can have more than 10 people in a room. So like she said, my background is in healthcare. I've been a nurse for 10 years. When COVID happened, of course, I ran right back into the medical field and went down to New Orleans into what they call the hot zones. Worked in a pop-up hospital and a convention center down there doing nursing management, just trying to kind of get things going again and figure out what in the world we need to do with COVID. So when I came back home, we were like, what are we going to do with all of these people that, our industry has just stopped? How do we help? And so we came up with this idea of having a nurse-led COVID compliance team that would do contact tracing and temperature screenings. And we just really tried to provide a safe environment for events to open back up. So that is kind of the baseline of it. And then with that, you get an on-call nurse that stays in contact with you and every attendee to your event for 2 weeks to make sure that their health is good. And if it's not, making sure that everybody there is provided the health care that they need, making sure that people are tested if they need tested, notified if they are high risk, to make sure that they are taken care of. And then we also do medical grade sanitation of your space about every 15 minutes throughout your event, in order to kind of just bring down that contact with COVID as much as possible for your attendees.
So what does that look like, Brandy, when you say that? Is that, going in and cleaning the bathrooms or the high touch areas of
Yeah, so it's all high touched areas. So anything from your tables, your bathrooms, doorknobs, anything that people are going to be touching on a regular basis, bars. We do it a lot for weddings and corporate. Thank goodness a few conventions have come back, and then we've been doing this nationwide, so we've been lucky enough to go to other cities and to be able to have we went to Oklahoma City and had 1,000-person conference for 2 whole weeks of 1,000 people in the same room, and we were very fortunate. We ended up with 1 positive COVID case out of all of that, and 3 people that I had to really contact trace their every move for about 2 weeks. But out of 1,000 people, we ended up with 1. So I take that as 100% win.
That's really incredible. And so from those 1,000 people for 2 weeks, you were in contact with them, seeing if they develop symptoms or COVID, and then it's treatment as well, you said?
Yeah, so we actually offer on-site rapid testing for events if needed. And then I also work full-time for Vanderbilt, helping run their COVID department. So I have all the inside scoop of how to get you tested quickly here in town if needed, and how to just handle your medical care of what happens after you end up with COVID, or if you've been exposed to COVID, what you need to do next.
First, thank you so much for your service to our country during this. Our healthcare workers have been on the front line from the very start, and you went down into the hot zone, New Orleans, and then came back here. I'm still just amazed of how you went and served, and then you came back and you guys said, okay, we need to do something. Had you heard about something like this and you're like, okay, we can create that too? Or was this a brainstorm that you guys came up with together, knowing the event business and knowing the healthcare industry?
So it was just kind of a brainstorm thing. We have a friend that had said, hey, we need help. His name's Bo, he's great. And then my wife here, she's done the production side of the world now her whole life. I mean, this is her love, her passion.
I started at 12.
She's literally been doing this for all eternity. And to sit after coming back from the hot zones and watch her sitting with idle hands and just being like, I can't do what I love. Not only that, but I don't know when I'm going to be able to do what I love. That's kind of what really started pushing it, of just watching her not be defeated, but just that, like, her passion was just literally smoldered. It was an end all. And we're like, all right, there has to be something that we can do. So they had contact traced all of us nurses constantly. Every move that we made down in the hot zones, they had to, because we're taking them back to hotel rooms with us. And, every breath we took, they knew what we were doing. And so I pulled from that of how can I take that and transition it into the event world to get us up and running again.
Nashville is such a, what we have going for us is our name, our reputation, and entertainment. And when you take that away from Nashville, which had happened, we have nothing. We don't have an amusement park or these big attractions that a lot of other metro cities have.
Beaches.
Yeah, beaches. And so that's something that, was it Butch? I think Butch said that, like, it just really stuck with me. And this was pre-pandemic, but it's always stuck with me. We have our name to go on, our reputation. And if we can't have events, that's how our city flourishes. So, and then back to what I said, just every day I was getting multiple phone calls from my friends. Hey, I lost my job. Hey, I lost my job. Hey, I lost my job. Do you know anyone hiring this and that? And so we have been just so very fortunate we've been hiring through the pandemic.
Wow.
Like last week I hired 6 more people. And this week I'm looking at another 6 people. Like, this pivot has really helped sustain us, but also bring work back to our community. And we're very grateful for that.
That's just incredible. That's awesome. So, all right, you pivot, you start this, you've gone through the year helping events continue to happen. You're so right. You brought up Butch Spearden with Convention and Visitors Corporation. Music City, USA, we're known for our live events. We're known for live entertainment. The Good to Go program was launched, which a lot of our businesses and then a ton of national businesses did. And it was about how to safely reopen and how to keep your employees safe and keep your customers safe. You guys create the business. You've been doing it. Now, as we start to ramp up with events, how are you balancing that? You've got all of the events that are going to take place are going to need the services that you've done with Tennessee Event Health, but I bet you're also ramping up on your own events as well.
Yes, and we're so happy about that. We have missed it. So honestly, we have been fortunate enough to have a great group of nurses and a great pool of nurses that we can staff. Festivals, we have a lot of festivals that are trying to come back this year and bigger events, and they've been contacting us asking, can we staff for 5,000 people to do an event? And the answer is yes. And I love to be able to tell them yes, thank goodness. And then as far as the production side of things for TN Event Designs, we've been giving them discounts. If you use us both, if you use both branches, let's discount it to get you guys back to work and get you back in there. It also helps tremendously get your the event permits that you have to have with the city to have something in Davidson County. all of our teen event health. We check all the little boxes that they need for you to do to be able to have larger events again. So that has definitely been a help as well.
What do events on the radar going forward? What are you seeing the size of events coming? Your vaccinations, thank God, are continuing to ramp up. What does the future look like for events? Will we be streamed? Share some information about that.
Yeah, so we are definitely looking at larger events again. You know, like I said, we're looking at roughly right now, we're looking at a lot of between 3,000 to 5,000 people events that we're quoting out, which is great. A lot of corporate stuff and then festivals. We definitely are encouraging people to continue the screening. At the hospital, we are kind of preparing for what things look like in the fall. We're kind of anticipating an influx again of COVID cases. I love science. I am happy that they have come out with a vaccine. However, we are playing all of that by ear still. And when the vaccine is open and ready for everyone, we're anticipating an influx because people are going to get laxed, right? They're going to say, I'm immune. And the vaccine works like the flu vaccine does. So you're going to not necessarily be immune, but if you come in contact, hopefully your immune system, because of the vaccine, is going to be able to fight it off pretty easily. Or if you do end up with COVID somehow, hopefully it is, you know, super mild because of your vaccine. You may not even honestly know that you have it. The problem with that, though, is because everybody cannot wait to have the vaccine and go back to the way we were living beforehand, is masks are going to come off. People are going to jump ahead a little bit until we really know what this looks like. So we are already anticipating fall time of just once we get that vaccine out to everyone, of being prepared of, you know, unfortunately, we might get those numbers that start rising again. So just be prepared for that with events. Please plan your events. Get everything up and going if you have the ability to, because this city needs it. But make sure that you're taking the precautions still, and at least be prepared to take the precautions. We are booking out dramatically in the fall because of that.
So events are coming. We'll do them safely. You guys can help with that. I want to have you guys continue through your slideshow and tell us more specifics about the business, specifically getting back to the events business, which I know we have some beautiful pictures of some of the events that you've done. Make sure that we highlight you guys fully. So I'll let you guys continue and bring back up your slides.
All right, sounds great. So like Sarah had said, we do lighting and draping of all calibers that you can think of, specifically for weddings, corporate events, music festivals, music videos. Am I missing anything, babe? I don't think so. I think I had it all there. Really of all shapes and sizes. We do offer discounts to our LGBT co-partners. So if any of you guys have any events that you're looking for in the future, let us know. Is there anything else that you're missing?
No, I think that's great.
Yeah. Here's some photos of some weddings that we have recently done. This one was just about a month and a half ago. And then we also do custom builds as well. So that is a photo of a custom arch that we had built. A bride had requested a sun spoke that she wanted. So we built that out and took it all the way to Alabama for her. And it was a beautiful wedding.
The platform there is what we built for this couple, and we took that out to North Carolina. We obviously travel.
So are these couples coming to you from Nashville and then they're going places for their wedding, or are you?
Yes, well, you're seeing here, this is actually a Nashville-based planner. His name is Josiah with 9th and Everett, and he uses us for all of his events, and we were very fortunate enough to also get to do his wedding. The other one She did I think that the bride is located out of Nashville, but her grandparents had a beautiful home in Alabama, and that's why we went there. But that Josiah actually was the planner for that.
Very cool. They're beautiful.
Thank you.
And then I did want to touch base on a promotional thing that we have going on right now. Like we had said, obviously the event world was hit super hard. Everything got shut down, and I cannot imagine being a couple during the pandemic. So many of them had to just completely postpone their weddings, stop them in their tracks, lose out on so much money. And I just it was heart-wrenching. It was heart-wrenching to see our couples that were contacting us. Literally, it felt like daily of people saying, we can't have our wedding any longer. So we teamed up with a group of Nashville vendors that work with us on a normal basis. And currently we are running a contest that starts on Monday. And any couple that had to cancel, postpone, or elope due to COVID, cancel their weddings, we are giving away an entire free wedding, start to finish. It's going to be over the top insane. Noah Liff Opera Center is the venue. It is absolutely stunning. We're doing catering, florals, video, live streaming,
Photography, DJ.
photography. Yeah, you name it, it is being done for them. So we're going to run this contest for about 2 months. It ends on the 15th of May, and then we will select our winner or our winning couple about 5 days after that. The panel of people that are going to select that are all from the vendors. So if you know anyone that has suffered during this, please have them enter the contest. We would love to hear their love story and how the pandemic has affected them, and definitely make sure that it gets in the right hands to someone that really deserves this wedding.
Oh, wow, that is incredible.
Yeah.
That's very exciting. We will make sure to promote that and get as many signups as possible. And somebody sure is in store for an incredible event. The video there of your events it's just beautiful.
Thank you.
It has been a tough year. I know of several people that have had to postpone or delay or drastically alter their big plans. Our very Lauren Bland was supposed to be married last year, and they are looking at a future date, and we're going to celebrate big with them, and I can't wait to do it.
Yes, absolutely.
So we'll make sure Lauren signs up for this.
Yes.
So it just looks incredible. That's so exciting, and so great of you guys to do.
Thank you. We're definitely excited to give away that wedding. I think, we just want to bring attention to the event industry and what in the world has gone on. I don't think people realize how hard we were hit. And then two, just to give back to someone that I can't imagine. We were very fortunate, when we got married to work in the wedding world. It was stressful enough to plan a wedding. I cannot imagine what it was like to try to navigate those waters during the pandemic. So,
Jessica Jenkins from LinkedIn says, that's amazing. Do you have a shareable link on Facebook for the contest? We can help promote it out. So Jessica, if you obviously follow the chamber stuff, we'll make sure to share that. And then what's your guys' hashtags? What's the best way for everybody to follow the stuff that you guys are doing?
So you can find the information on our website. It's the very first thing you see on our website right now. And like I said, it opens up Monday. And then our Instagram, it's blasted all over our Instagram and our Facebook currently. And the links to enter the contest are going to be at the top in the bios of those two pages. And those are just TN Event Designs. Are both the Instagram and Facebook, and then tneventdesigns.com is where you can find the actual entrance page as well. And then you can always go to tneventhealth.com also, which talks about our COVID services and what all goes on with that. And you can find the contest information on there as well. Pretty much anywhere you find us right now, we're trying to make sure that the right couple gets this.
That's awesome. Selena Haynes, we kind of touched on this earlier, but she asked, as COVID hopefully dissipates, will you continue TN Event Health? If so, how? I think that's a great, segue to say, what does the future hold? Do you think we're going to have TN Event Health has a long future because this is the new normal that we're living in, or do you expect down the road that events go back to what was normal?
We actually were brainstorming this yesterday, and kind of where we landed is we hope COVID goes away, obviously. But until then, we are more than happy to help promote a healthy way, safer way to host events. Where we see a pivot happening with TN Event Health once COVID is gone. I don't know. I don't know how far out that is, and maybe it's 2 months, maybe it's 2 years, maybe it's 20 years. I don't know. 2 months is the goal. But would be to provide on-site nursing staff. So, think you go to a festival, people will drink too much, take too many things they are not supposed to take, things of that nature. They have heat exhaustion. We provide a nurse that, takes care of that situation. Or you have a convention and a health issue arises. We have a nurse on site that is able to then take care of that situation.
I think the whole world was going to start looking at everything differently. We're all kind of looking at things now through a health, scope, and no one was used to that before this. So I definitely see us being around for a while. Again, we don't know how long we're looking at, and I know working at the hospital that we're already looking at what's going to happen in the fall and winter time. So I have a feeling we're going to be around a while doing this, and then if we're still needed after that, then we'll be here. If not, we'll go on back to just doing production.
It's great. We are so proud of you. That's just an incredible story from the last year, and just incredible work. And you're an LGBT certified business, so we'll just make the plug that you, for our corporate members out there, you would qualify for their diversity spend, their minority business opportunities there, and minority contracting. You guys are in the process of getting your women-owned business certification as well, and that's great. That'll help you with all of this when you do your corporate events. Just incredible work, y'all. Anything you want to leave our viewers with or say in closing?
Well, thank you so much for hopping on and taking time to listen to us and hear about what's going on in the event world. We are very grateful.
And the only thing I can say again, if you sit in a position where you can make events happen in Nashville again, please do. Please contact me. I will do everything in my power to help you do it safely so that we can get things going again in our city. We all need it.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. We'll end with that. We'll end with that. We all need it. We need to open up this city again and get back to normal, but we want to do it safely. And thanks for being a part of making safety happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks again, you guys. It was great talking with you. That concludes our March Member Connect, one of my favorite programs that we created a year ago when we went virtual, and we're going to continue doing it going forward. All of our programming will stay virtual. I look forward to our first Member Connect, where we do these live on site with our member and get to show you all their businesses. We'll have that virtual component, but we're looking forward to the future and moving back out to keeping the programming, but changing it in our world that we're headed into. I'm hopeful for the future of where we're headed. I'm going to do a plug though on the legislature, on our advocacy role there. If you're joining us, please take action. And we need your help and support at the state level with advocacy. Thanks to our businesses that have signed the letter. Both of our members today have done that, and we're very appreciative. Keep up to date with everything we're doing on our website and our emails. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next Thursday. It's Thursday, there's programming with the chamber, so we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.